I think that people were expecting a correction in Calgary because it was happening so profoundly everywhere else in Canada. And the correction, if there was one, it was very marginal. It was more of an adjustment or a leveling off.
I think one of the things that was surprising for me was the number of building starts. It was a really significant number.
And I think one of the things is because the market rose so quickly, a lot of buyers were getting fatigue in terms of the lack of inventory. And when inventory did pick up, it was the same kind of buyers could keep that kind of prevented some buyers in going into the market. So that's one of the things that I think that really affected.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's buy psychology, I think. Yeah.
So even today, the number of new build starts is off the charts. So I happen to make note of it. Um, there are 11,800 rental units under construction today, and another 7,900 condos that are, meant for owner occupied under construction as well.
Yeah. 62% of the apartments that they're building are for rental.
Yeah.
And I mean, the whole thing was is that that's because of the government-sponsored program to build rental properties, and it's really affected builders. I mean, but the whole thing is that everything all is so delayed that by the time they actually get these on the market, there's no longer that much of an interest in them, so prices are starting to a little bit either drop or level off. So
Yeah, one of the interesting comments that Anne Marie made was that we're going to see an excess of supply until into 2027. It's going to take that long. She figures take that long to use up what is coming on stream over the next 2 years. So it's going to be downward pressure on pricing, certainly through 2026
and that
and
will
well into 2027.
that will affect builders too, because I've spoken to several of them and they're saying, I'm starting to not see my profit margins anymore. I'm going to hold tight for a while and see what happens to the market. So what we'll see is maybe not this year because there's already all these starts. And remember that everything's a year in advance. We've got 18,000 housing starts coming up in 2026. 2027 will probably see a drop again because we're down from 27 or 28,000 in 1920, or sorry, not 2025.
And I think because of that, it kind of plays into the whole supply and demand. And I think right now is if you missed the last couple years of not getting into the market, right now is actually a perfect time because supply is high. There is a constraint. Like you don't want to be where, as my colleague was saying, is there's going to be a lag time in terms of absorbing this. So right now is actually a very good time as a buyer. You can go in, uh, take the time without rushing, and you can actually put the conditions, sellers financing, inspection, through the traditional way and take your time without rushing and without overpaying, without, and at least you get to know your property, right?
One of the interesting things, just further to your comment, Anthony. What a great time for someone who wants to do a downsize. If they've got a detached home of some type and really interested in downsizing into a townhouse or an apartment, what a great time. Because according to the forecast, we're still going to see a bit of an increase in price in 2026 for detached, semi-detached homes. But townhouses and apartments are expected to go down. Apartments as much as 3.5%, townhouses as much as 1.7% down. And in typical forecast situation, if they're talking about 1.7% decrease overall, there's going to be pockets where that's going to be a much greater decrease. So what a great time if you need to downsize.
And much more choice too, because there's still a lot on the market.
Oh yeah, yeah, and tons coming online.